Good morning, SCA. Hope you had a fabulous long weekend. I did. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Today's Tuesday, May 23rd. Did you know that on this day in 1785, Ben Franklin announced that he invented bifocals? Hey, I just thought of fake news for a second. I didn't totally believe or check some sources on that just for fun. And it's the one little click I did said somebody else invented bifocals. So I don't know if that's true. Anyways, good for you, Ben Franklin, if you in fact did that. Hey, here's some things you need to know coming up this week. Want to let you know that a few of our students are incredibly gifted in the arts, specifically in art, and they were part of a Strathcona County student art show last weekend, 2 weekends ago. And Brenna Butcher, she won Best in Show. Way to go, Brenna. Emily Thiessen and Hannah Blaze and Lucy Sanders also did very well. So if you see them, congratulate them. Some announcements for you. Our band choir trip for high school coming up May 24 to 27. I saw the other group go last week. Big fancy bus. Very excited. So I'm assuming that was a great time. For grads, listen up. Spirit Week's coming May 29 to June 1. And on May 29, 80s Day. May 30th, Country versus Country Club theme. May 30th, June 1st, Barbecue Dads, SCA Mums. Yeah, right. And June 2nd is actually grad. Okay, I got to get my suit. Sheesh. Hey, Multicultural Day. Wednesday, May 31st. After school event, 4 to 7 p.m. You're going to see Mr. Botchway if you have any questions about that. But there's still parents or grandparents needed to contribute food, kind of like a Costco taste testing kind of walk around thing. They need food from different countries. So if you can help with that, or your parents or grandparents can help with that, please see Mr. Botchway. Grade 12 retreat coming up. I know last week's video, I told you all about it. We're leaving 8:45, home at 3, coming up on June 5th, and we're going to Camp Van Ness. So kind of a time to chill. We're going to eat some good food. We'll have a bit of a mini chapel. We're going to play some games. Last year, I think I said a football game broke out, and they played a giant game of Duck, Duck, Goose, random, but fun. Bring a book. If it's a beautiful day, you certainly have time to read and relax. But it really is a good time, and we really do actually relax, especially if it's a beautiful day. Okay. Hey, I wanted to leave you with a thought. And I made some notes on this one. Wanted listen to this. Just think about this. I entitled it "What do you think?" You know, you guys might not say those exact words in a typical day, but I actually think we're thinking that lots in a day. Like, what do you think? You know, we say things, and we're thinking, what are they thinking? You know, it's just because you're a person and you have friends and relationships and family, and your mind is actually trying to be read many times in a day. Have you ever thought about that? Like someone's trying to read what you're thinking many times in a day. So that's interesting. Thoughts. It's a subject we don't know a lot about, kind of like dreams, but we do know that thoughts determine choices and actions and attitudes. I know that we don't always choose what comes into our head, but we certainly can choose our attitudes as a result of what's in our head. When your heart is right with God and your thinking is true, and I would say primarily true via the study and reflection on Scripture, then your conduct is based on the right standard. Okay. I would also argue that living right does something good for your soul. Living right, it just feels right to do right, right? Oh, that was funny. Hey, I'm not just talking morality either. I know that many of you just went there like, don't do this and do this. I don't just actually mean that. I'm just talking about your outlook in general. For example, last weekend on the long weekend, I went to our cabin in Saskatchewan and I went fishing with my family, and just something happens. Hard to describe, but it's definitely, if I had to describe it, I'd just say peaceful. Something happens when I'm sitting there. There's not a lot of tourists there yet. There's not a lot of big boats and skiers yet. It's just some kayaks and Mrs. Maxwell's paddleboarding, and me and the boys are fishing. Something's going on there. Really cool when it's quiet and you catch a fish and fry it up. And so So again, that's not a morality thing. It's just like something feels right when you're remembering that God kind of created this and it's beautiful. It doesn't make me tense at all. I love going out there, as many of you do in different ways. I encourage you today to commit your mind to God, for He is the Lord of all that is good. I want to leave you with a verse before we go. Philippians chapter 4. Listen to this. Fill your minds with those things that are good and that deserve praise, things that are true, noble, right, pure, lovely, and honorable. Put into practice what you learned and received from me, both my words and from my actions. And the God who gives us peace will be with you. So I pray that for you this week, that you have peace and that you give your mind to God. Think right things, do right things, and I think you'll be blessed, and you will have the capacity to certainly bless others, which I get to see all day long, and I hope you see it too. Have a great week, SCA. Oh, what's going on in the Eagles Nest? What's today? Chicken Club or Greek chicken wrap? Peace. Have a great week.